morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Vobes show. It's Wednesday, the 18th of March, 2020, and we've got Bubbles in the studio. How exciting is that? Not only have we got Bubbles in the studio, we've also got Garibaldi's from yesterday, which have yet to be opened and feasted upon. So, you know, all good things come to those who wait. Something just landed on my bonce then.
There was a big old bubble there.
Was it a big old bubble? I know, I saw it. I saw it was lit up by the lights.
I felt the spray as well.
Did you? And the lovely Julia is here with me on tonight's show, which is fantastic. Lovely Julia, who have we got in the house?
We have Philip Hammond, Andrew Norris, Judith, Audrey Forbes Hamilton, Jeff Kellison, Andy Frisson and Andy Stacey in Marriott Genealogy. Hello, everybody.
Hello. We started 3 minutes earlier than normal. We were just sort of sitting here thinking, do you know what? Should we just start the show?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not...
One of you, one of me.
Yeah.
Him's the clock.
We can just keep going. We don't need a schedule like, the BBC. We give you a vague time. I know some people kind of go, oh, wait a minute, just a second. You were 2 minutes late or 2 minutes early. It's,
You know who you predicted that would be a
Yeah.
little bit upset?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, here we go.
Called him out.
Early, says Where in Sussex.
I know. You know why? Because
Sorry.
he's brought up on railway time. And so they have to be precise.
Wap, wap,
Whereas we're brought on, are we ready time? Yeah, we're ready. We're ready.
Julia was ready on time for a change.
Hey, so
we started
it's the success.
before she became unready.
Absolutely. And if you look in the back, you can see the ever-readies. She doesn't run on Duracells. Whereas me, I'm never ready. So that's it. Anyway, welcome to the Wednesday show. Thank you for joining me if you did on Tuesday's show. Going to try and do shows every night for this week and possibly next week. Well, actually, not next week because we're going to be away.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
We're going to be away on trips, on a trip. Now, we've already had the big, are you sure it's sensible to be going away conversation. Julia's mum, bless her. Absolutely, I can understand she would be concerned.
Yeah, well, it's her precious grandchild I'm taking with me.
Yeah, that's very true. And her precious daughter.
Yeah, and that.
And that.
But
it's interesting because I had a cancellation on an Airbnb for a trip I was doing in Oxford. That was cancelled. They said they didn't want to take the risk, which was a shame. So I got in touch with the Airbnb that we are staying at. And I said, is it all right for our trip in Hampshire? It is, when we're going to go around the zigzag path and on the Wessex ancient roads and the ancient hangars in around that in the countryside, basically away from people. And they said, no, it's absolutely fine. Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, we're away for 2 nights. So I thought I'm not going to cancel it. And as I say, we're going to be away from civilization. That is the whole point of it. And it may be the last time we can get out if we get into some sort of military lockdown style thing. So we've got to take advantage of it and make as many videos as we can to bring a little bit of landscape, heritage and nature to all our lovely followers.
yes.
So that will be exciting. Have we got any extra people joining?
We do. We have Ed Loud, Where in Sussex, Laura Riddle, Les Jarvis, Linda Kane. Hello.
Hello. Lovely to see you all. Thank you very much for coming along. We do hope that the Vobes show and the Bald Explorer stuff is going to be a conduit to keep people entertained and a way of you being able to share thoughts and views on the current and very weird situation that we're in. Obviously, it is the conversation at the moment and everyone's talking about it, the nuances and things. The news today, the big news, of course, is that schools, as of next week, will be shut apart from for key workers. They are the people who are the parents, really, who work in the key industries like the police, the fire brigade and the hospitals and many other caregiving things where it's absolutely essential that as many people can go to work as they can. And there will be some form of schooling for them, but for the likes of you, unfortunately, Julia.
No, we've got online avenues for work for them and things to do, but it's not compulsory. It's just for us to have something to do with them.
Absolutely, because it puts a lot of pressure on the parents who obviously are very busy buying loo roll to have to then at the same time try and do schooling as well for children. Because getting those hand sanitizers and loo rolls could take you all around the world and all that kind of stuff. So, are you affected by the new news? Is it going to affect you? We'd like to find out from you guys. And have you got ideas of what you can do? And do you have any concept of what is going to happen in the next few weeks? Are you surprised by what's going on? Are you expecting more draconian methods to keep us indoors and locked up and away from each other? Or are you a bit like me, who thinks that the British way is going to break after a week or two and we're going to go down the pubs and the various places anyway, because we just are not used to sitting inside and being told not to come out of our houses? Be interested to know your thoughts on all of that in today's show. And whilst they're doing that, I'm going to open up the Garibaldis.
The Baldy Garys.
The Baldy Garys. Also, I should add, we have an Andrew Norris moment. We've got Andrew Norris has produced 4 new Andrew Norris moments, which will be coming out into the show to look forward to.
All in one show.
And Richard McGowan has got a walk home moment of loveliness, which we will also be playing in tonight's show. So do stay tuned for those. And of course, if you would like to take part in all of that, you can send in your videos. I need to make a graphic so that you can know where to send them, a bit like this, so you know who your hosts are. And because we're going to be doing extra work and we are going to try and do our trips, there is a way that you can support the show before you run out of money and your last pay packet comes in. And you can go to our PayPal, paypal.me /Richard Vobes, and make any number of donations that you like, if you so wish. That would be lovely. I'll put that back up on the screen a little bit later.
We have some new joiners. We have Roy Ballinger, Mikey Stevens, Anne Osborne, Wendy Lowry, I said Andy Frierson. I'll see you again. Barbara Charles, who says, I was supposed to be in England this week as we speak. It's a shame.
Where are you at the moment, Barbara Charles? Sorry, I paused then as if you were suddenly going to speak to me. But of course, there's a 40-second pause between us speaking something and, of course, people replying.
If my memory serves me, I think she's in America.
Yes, I think you're right, but I was just, I can't remember.
Please confirm.
Please confirm. Help yourself to a
Cheryl,
Garibaldi.
hello.
Hello, Cheryl. Lovely to see you.
My BFF.
I imagine up in Northumberland, nobody can possibly get the coronavirus up there.
No, they have had at least one.
What, up in the wilds of Northumberland?
Yes, there's at least one. What's the word I'm looking for?
Victim.
Diagnosis.
So
far.
Patient.
Yes.
Oh, gosh. I was thinking that we might have to pack our bags and go up there and stay with Cheryl.
Oh, what a dreadful, awful thing.
I can get most of this into the boot of my car.
That's lucky.
Probably no room for you and Joseph.
Yeah,
so
true.
it'll just be me going up to stay with Cheryl and Alan.
I'll have to grow some purple fairy wings.
Yeah, we could tow you, actually. We
Fly.
could get you on the roof rack.
True.
Which would be quite good.
Barbara Charles says she's in Philadelphia.
Oh, Philadelphia, like the cheese. Lovely. I've been to Philadelphia.
Have you?
When I did my 2006 trip to America, went to Philadelphia. If I remember right, if I've got the right place, is that where the Liberty Bell is? Philadelphia. It's sort of over on the Never Eat Shredded Wheat on the east side, isn't it? Philadelphia.
Oh.
If I remember, if I've got the right place, I may have got the wrong place.
David Keel says, I don't know if anyone has said, but you're not being shown on YouTube tonight.
We're not being shown?
No, as in notification didn't pop up, at least for David Keel.
Oh.
Mikey Stevens says, I like that ornate handle on your teapot. Which teapot?
Wait, do you mean this?
Yeah, maybe.
Or your cup?
My cup. Oh, this one. This is my usual Vobes show teacup.
That's actually just a glass of water.
AB says Liberty Bell is in Philly.
I've been and I've seen the Liberty Bell with the crack.
Well done, that one.
Yeah.
Brain cell functions.
It's actually a very nice city, isn't it, Philadelphia? Is it Philadelphia the city or the state? I get confused.
I think it's a state, but she's 100 miles south of New York City.
Yeah. Oh, right. South. Oh, yeah. I can't remember. My geography there is when we did the 2006 trip. We went. We flew into Washington D.C. and then we drove down to the Blue Ridge Mountains. Went down to South Boston. Came back up Maryland, crossed the Chesapeake Bridge. That's it. Went up to Maryland, into Philadelphia, into Lancaster, where the Amish people are, and then eventually ended back up in somewhere else, and then went to Chicago to get the plane home, all in an afternoon. And it was a lovely trip. You can actually see some of our trip. It's on YouTube. I should find the link and post it, really, if you want to watch a bit of that. 2006 Vobes. I think if you put in Vobes America 2006, let me just see if I can find that whilst Julia does a bit of chatting.
We have Francesco Bellringer in the house. Tally ho, he says. Good evening, Francesco.
Francesco, I've managed to unban your proper account, by the way, just so you know.
He didn't. No, it's confusing. We certainly didn't intend for that to happen.
No,
so sorry about that.
It was a bit odd.
Yes. Steve G is here. AB, I've already said one of your comments, but you're here too. David Keel. I thought we had some more new ones then. Anyway, so what we say here? Ed Loud says, please say hello to my wonderful neighbour Frida. She's in front of my fire, keeping warm while her heating is broken. An inspirational, 88 years young, and great support while Grandad was dying at home with me. Well, good evening, Frida. I hope you're feeling nice and cosy next to that fire. I'm jealous. I want to be sat there in front of that cosy fire.
There's a link to the American trip. I didn't know I could do that, but I've done it. Don't watch it now, but later you can copy and paste that link if you get a bit. That's part one. It's in 4 parts, and I think all 4 parts are up. And you can follow myself and a dear friend of mine called Paul Stoneman, and we went in 2006 or 2007 to 2007 actually, I think it was, to America, and we had some fun and we tried to chart it. There's a video about it. We were doing a podcast then. It was the Vogue Show podcast.
That's a royal we. I was not involved.
No, that was the
Vogue
me
Show
and
or anything then.
The various people that I used to. There comes a point, you see, in the Vogue Show, you work with different people, a bit like the Doctor Who, but whereas I don't regenerate, it's the companions. They regenerate. So Julia used to be a chap called Paul Stoneman in a previous... Well, actually, used to be Martin Snow, to be fair, in a previous incarnation.
But I went off orange, so...
Yeah, it went off orange, went into
decided
purple.
on purple.
That's it. And I occasionally do purple. We were... the other day we made a video, you may have seen it. I think it's today's video, isn't it? Down on the beach.
Oh, yes.
And it was just completely coincidental that we were both in purple, but it really looked really nice. It was like there was some thought behind it.
I know, it was completely coincidental, but I don't know if you noticed, but the colour of your collar matched the flowers on my top as well.
I didn't notice that much, no.
No, it was that coordinated.
I've only got one eye, and my one eye was concentrating on what was happening with the camera and the sea.
Well done.
Yes.
Yes, but you were editing it.
Yes, that's true.
While you were editing it, you did message me saying, we were coordinated.
That's very true. Yes, I should have done, but I've failed miserably.
And we have Nigel Sadler in the house. Hello.
So Francesco Bellringer says, I'm still off school at the moment. Doing school online is so confusing. Nobody understands the system anyway. No. I think that's going to be a big problem, especially with a number of kids who have not yet had to do that. They might have done homework. I know they were moving kids onto putting their homework online and that sort of stuff. But there's a huge shift for everybody now. Everybody is confused, worried, concerned. Some of them are whatever. And many people are still going down the pub, apparently. Which is a strange thing, because on the one hand, the pub owners need people to go down the pub so they can pay their staff, and so that those staff can buy food, and so that the supermarkets will have money coming in to buy more food and provide. But at the same time, the advice is don't go to the pub because you don't want to pass on the virus.
I think it's different case by case, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nigel Sadler says the UK will be joining you, Francesco, at the end of the week.
What in Italy?
Yeah,
I don't think we're allowed to fly.
No,
out
with
there,
with the kids at home.
Oh, with the kids at home.
Cheryl Cragg says wasn't aware of any cases in Northumberland. Some in Newcastle at the specialist unit. That probably was my misunderstanding then. So not in Northumberland.
Well, I'll get the suitcase packed.
Mariette Genealogy says spent 6 days floating around on Tasman Sea, got to New Zealand, and they were closed for business. So back to Oz. What a shame. AB is wondering how Jeff K is. The government took off the hours restrictions for truckers. Now the truckers are working even harder delivering all the goods that are being hoarded.
Yes.
Good old Jeff Kellison and all his colleagues.
Jeff is out there at the moment, isn't he? He may well be driving, and I think what Jeff does is dictates to his phone.
Yes.
I think he listens. I think you're listening to the stream as you drive, and then he'll watch it later. He'll only watch it, of course, when Julia's in. He doesn't need to see a bald bloke like me. But by the way, Jeff has sent in a photograph of himself. We now know what he looks like.
Yes.
He hasn't given us permission to show that to the world.
No.
But I can tell you,
only.
he is a
special.
very hunky young man. You know what Brad Pitt looks like, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Doesn't look like that, funny enough. But he does look remarkably handsome.
Yes, a very handsome chap.
Quite why he had to show the extra photos in Speedos and on his exclusive island and the beach wear. I'm not quite sure we needed those, although you can feast your eyes on them at a later date. But he is a very nice chap, and he supports the show in a very, very big way.
Nigel Sadler says, take care, Jeff, wherever you are. He did actually say further up the feed where he is, but I can't remember. Prim, something like that. Yeah. And Jeff Kellison says, Jeff is good. His HOS restrictions lifted doesn't affect me. I'm hauling 66 Davenports to Omaha.
66 what?
Davenports. What's a Davenport?
66 Davenports.
I only know drag queens called Davenport.
Yeah, what is a Davenport? That's a fascinating thing. There used to be a Davenport in London. It was a magician's shop, and it was in one of the underground, like Charing Cross station. I don't think it was Charing Cross, but it was something like that. You'd go downstairs and there was Davenport's, the old magical shop, and you'd go in and buy, the old egg and bag routine, the thumb thing, and the egg bag. Oh, the old egg bag, yeah. And the magic rope that you could tie knots in, and it would, cut the rope, tie a knot, and it all joins up together. All of those tricks.
Excellent.
My darling Cheryl says she is quietly freaking out. She had a cry earlier. It's just so weird trying to be normal for the little one. Bless you. I'm sending loads of hugs and kisses to you.
Just explain that to me. What's happening there? She's crying.
Freaking out about the whole situation.
And she's trying to explain that to...
No, she's trying to stay normal for the little one.
For the little one being her
son.
Her son. And how old is his son? Quite young.
6?
6 years.
Something you would ask me something like that,
I
wouldn't
know,
you?
I know. I think what I meant was he's not an 18-year-old or something like that. He's not a baby.
He's a little one.
Yeah, so he's asking all the questions that most children will be going, this is a bit, why have we not having this, mummy? Why
Excuse me
this?
while I self-hate.
No, don't self-hate. It's very easy on the show to get yourself all in a flutter. Yes, that's what I run off. Running it all of a muddle. You've listened to me come out with all the waffle that I come out with. But you have to train yourself. If a couch like you have... a couch like you have in your living room.
A Davenport. Oh, I see, a Davenport couch.
We call those sofas, don't we? Or couch potatoes. We do call them couches, I suppose. Yeah, that's true.
We do use American words.
Yeah, we do. We do use American words.
Like foosball.
Yeah, that was... that's coming... Oh, that's been out, hasn't it? That video, that's been out. Sometimes
it has.
It has.
Yes,
We've had an offer to go back to East Preston, and sorry, I've got this terrible cough since this new virus came out.
Your jokes are terrible, by the way.
Vobenitis, it's called.
Not all of them, just most of them. Hello, Nikki Jess. She's arrived.
Hello, Nikki Jess.
Michael Angel is here.
We'll have a pause.
Robert Croser.
Nikki.
Sean Wiltshire. I don't think I've seen your name pop up before.
Sean Wiltshire.
Apologies
hello, Sean.
if I have.
No, it's very nice. Mike Dixon is out there. He says, hello. Today, Helen and I enjoyed Alison Ferns on BBC Radio Sussex at 1pm as part of her shared lunch with people phoning in and chatting and having fun together. Excellent initiative. Did you, by that, do you mean that you rang in, Mike? Did you ring? Mike was telling me this morning that he got in touch and he was complaining, I think it was this morning or yesterday, he's complaining to the BBC about their news coverage in Italy.
Okay.
I think mainly what it was is that, no matter how much you put the volume up on the radio, when it's in Italy, you can barely hear it because it's a long way away. Fletcher is 5, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I read that.
You read that. Thanks, quietly. Cheryl. Yeah, so there we go. He's, 5 or 6. He's at that point where it's like, why, mummy? Why, mummy? Why, mummy? And that's what husbands often say. Yeah, why, mummy? Why have I got to wash up after these food? Why have I got to make the lunch? Why have I got to do this, mummy? Where in Sussex? Go on. Where in Sussex?
Where in Sussex says the only thing keeping me going over the 4+ weeks of 3 kids in the house is it isn't going to be in the deepest winter that we've just had.
I think that is if you've got a garden, at least you could open the doors, chuck the kids into the garden.
Yeah.
If you're on the first floor or the 5th floor of a block of flats, please don't open the doors and chuck the kids out into the garden. Don't always take my advice literally, because you may spend the rest of your self-isolated period behind bars. And actually, they're now talking about, did you hear that on the news? They're now talking about maybe because one of the prisoners in one of the prisons has got the flu, the virus, they might have to release prisoners temporarily, like they have done in other countries. And where was it, in Iran or somewhere?
Yeah, I heard about that. Wasn't there a lady called Nazanin?
Yeah, that's it.
She was
she's being held against her will.
Poor lass has missed out on most of her daughter's childhood so far.
And they'll release and you can imagine in this country releasing them, and they'll forget to put the little bracelets on their ankles, and they'll accidentally have deleted the names of the people they've released, and they won't know where they live. I can see a complete and utter government cock-up coming up. We released them all, but we don't know who they are that we've released. It's going to be a bit mad.
Les Jarvis says, I've been sent home from work because I may be at risk due to being old, so I'm working from home.
Les, you're not old, are you? Nobody watching this show is old.
Nope.
Not allowed. We don't allow oldies watching this show. You're as young as you like on this show. It's the only reason, that's the only way I can get to do the show, because otherwise I would be far too ancient. You do understand that. In a moment, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have the Andrew Norris moment, very exciting moment. But before that, we're going to go over and I just need to see if I've programmed this correctly. I haven't. We're going to have a video. Sorry, I'm all bunged up from this cold that I have had, which wasn't the corona rubbish. And the last of getting that bile out of my chest is just still there, but it's pretty much gone. This is a video from Richard McGowan. He sent in, and he said, I don't know if he's actually out there, but he says, "Hello, Richard. A video, if you want to use it, just over a minute or so, taken on one of our regular walks where we live on the Cumbrian coast, with some of the views over the Solway Firth. There was a bit of wind noise, so there's a little background music to make it less intrusive. Use a track taken from YouTube's own audio library called Calm by Silent Partner. It says, attribution not required, free to use." Well, I've just credited it now anyway.
That's awesome. Sorry, I want to interject when you've got a moment.
Yeah, you can interject now. It's a good moment.
We've got John Berger in the house. Woo!
John Berger in the house.
This is about celebration bubbles.
Get the bubbles going. John Berger's in. Why does John Berger get this treatment as opposed to anybody else?
Because he's one of your long-term old.
Oh yes,
followers.
He is one of the old school. That's right. Yeah, no, I forgot about that.
Even I know that.
Yeah,
I know that.
If you are self-isolated and you need to listen to a good podcast, the Widescreen podcast by John Berger is just the thing for you. He'll be telling you about the new films that are coming out that you won't be able to see. Very useful, actually, in this time. But John's probably going to tell you how the cinema are going to be releasing the new releases over the internet instead of in cinemas. So isn't that right, John? What can you tell us about that? We'll go straight over to John for an exclusive now.
That would be cool.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool.
That would be cool. We need to get our communication system so that we could just do that. And John just picks up headphones and goes, yeah, well, Richard, it's what's happening over here in America is that we're going to be letting everybody hear the new films as they come out. The James Bond film, of course, will be coming out in October and is starring the new James Bond actor, somebody called Dickie Vobes. It's going to be the new... He actually runs about singing the tune at the same time. Down, 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 down. It'll be a hoot, that one.
Sorry, John, I didn't get your message out before he did that.
What was that?
Spare us the bad American accent there, Richard.
Oh, bit late. Yeah,
Yep.
Sorry about that.
But he says, thanks for the plug there, matey. And yes, that's correct.
There you go.
And he says he's not from Texas.
Never said you were from Texas.
No, but the accent you do is very Texan.
Is it very
Is
Texan?
that because you listen to... is our dear fairy godfather a Texan?
What, Jeff Kellison?
Is he?
Oh, I don't think Jeff's a Texan.
I don't know. I'm rubbish with the accents anyway.
He's from somewhere nice.
Linda Kane said something quite interesting, but
Yeah, what
I
did
think
she
she's
say that was
deleted
interesting?
the comment.
Oh no, Linda, don't do that.
Something about her nephew telling his mum that his generation of are the ones that have had it the worst.
How old is his nephew?
10.
And they've had it the worst?
Yeah.
Is that what they think? Well, you see, the thing is,
it's
I mean,
sad, isn't it?
Tell your 10-year-old nephew, Linda Kane, this has stopped the other thing that they were all whining and getting excited about.
Well, it's not stopped it, but it's certainly giving it a chance.
Climate change.
Nature.
It's no longer going to happen because the Extinction Rebellion people who have released the virus, this is my conspiracy theory, is they've released the virus, so if you look around, planes aren't flying as much as they used to be, and that's what they wanted. People aren't travelling on trains and buses, that's just what they wanted. I reckon they've released this. This is their thing.
There's stats on China at the minute where the pollution and everything is, well, it's down to insignificant amounts now at the moment.
And all the
everything's
kids,
shut down.
he's 10. He's going to be fine. They're all going to live forever. This is going to kill all the oldies, people like me. We're all going to snuff it. We'll be dead by Christmas. We don't know which one.
Christmas.
He would have got rid of all of that. This is his dream come true, Linda. They won't have any climate change to worry about. They won't have any climate at all. It'd be lovely. So tell him this is the best time to be alive. Not only that, doesn't even have to go to school. Because when it's all over, there won't be jobs. He won't need any qualifications. They'll just be able to, the government will just pay for everything. Because that's what they do now. New policy. It's great.
Jeff Kellison says, born in Chico, California and raised in Seaside, Oregon. Lived in Montesano,
Oregon.
Washington
That's
now.
where he is.
No, he lives in Montesano, Washington now.
Ah, but I've got an address in Morrigan. In Morrison's. That's where he really lives. I've got an address in Oregon where his sister lives. Hopefully your sister, by the way, Darcy, should be getting Elizabeth Housden's novel very soon. It's been sent off. She was thrilled to do it, and it's all dedicated to her. And I can tell you who did it in the end. A butler. Oh, no, I'm not supposed to say that. That's a secret.
Linda Kane says apparently they've had to endure Brexit, now coronavirus, and they have to clear up all the plastic, which wasn't even their fault. Mind you, he's a bit of a thinker. Yeah.
Sound like a bit of a moaner in my estimation.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he'll learn about the world wars and soon start to rethink that. But, yes.
He didn't have to put up with John Craven's news round. Think himself lucky. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea.
You see?
No!
He hasn't had to put up with things like that. There's a lot of other things that he hasn't had to put up with that we have. David Bowie, another one. Right, we're going to play... What?
What about David Bowie?
He hasn't had to put up with him.
Put up with him.
Yeah, I'm the laughing gnome and you can't catch me. What was that all about?
And he's written some good songs as well, you know.
Oh, that's the only one I liked.
Oh.
And
I've
now,
never even heard that one.
I'm the laughing gnome and you can't catch me.
Live on Mars!
We're going to take a break and we're going to show you Richard McGowan's little film, and we hope that you enjoy it, and hopefully this will work. Here it is.
Ooh.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you so much, Richard, for sending that in. That's brilliant. And if anybody would like to do that, that would be great. Just send it to me, richard@vobes.com, via WeTransfer. I will, at some point, make a little thing so you know where to do it. That was up in the Cumbrian coast. Is that anywhere near you, Robert? Mr. Croser is up there. We've seen Mr. Croser. Well, I've been up there twice.
Yes, he says just down the road at St. Bees Head.
Oh, St. Bees Head. It looked very lovely. It looked very lovely. So next time I'm up there, I hope you'll take me to it. Where the sun was shining. Whatever you do, just don't take me to anywhere where there are those...
No more Buddha Gate, please.
Yes, no more Buddha Gate.
What were you thinking, darling?
I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, but still to come, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Andrew Norris moment, which will be another fantastic... Andrew has sent in some fascinating ones. I've had a preview of pretty much all of them so far, and they are very interesting. Can't wait to show you the one about the plough and the riding on a tractor. But before that, there's a different one.
Mikey Stevens says Herdwick sheep. I'm glad you said that because I think they're really cute, and I was wondering what breed they were.
Heard of what sheep?
Herdwick.
Herdwick. Oh, right. Very nice. The last sheep that went up there, that one... Sorry, I got crumbs from the Garibaldi.
Oh, crumbs.
Oh, crumbs. The last sheep was different from the others we'd seen. That sort of dark, woolly... woolly jumper that it had on were fantastic. I do want to make a video, actually, about the wool trade. And because I'm quite interested in the, because the wool trade is what put this island on the map from way back in history. The sheep that we, just can be quite disparaging about have been one of the reasons that we were able to have things like the Navy, because we had reasons to protect boats that were selling fleeces. Our fleeces, the sheep's fleeces, were the best in the world because of the climate that we have here and the grass, the quality of the grass that they fed on. So I do want to make a video about that.
Sorry, I'm going to have to say this comment so he doesn't comment it again.
Okay.
Francesco Bellringer says Corona is also a beer. I wouldn't have known that other than the fact that Ringer Ollie has it in his fridge.
Yes, I think the Corona beer jokes were done so long ago.
Yeah.
But, you're a young
But
fella.
thank you for your input, though.
Yeah, no, it's fine, absolutely.
Veg Grow Podcast says, found you at last. Well done, you found us,
We have more...
Celebratory bubbles.
My goodness, there's loads of them.
Bubbly bubbles.
This is not a
that
digital effect, by the way, that we just switch on. That's real. Real puff out of Julia's gob. And, what?
That was another bubble.
Oh, I thought you were trying to poke my ear out then.
No, just the bubble.
Just the
Into your ear. Oh.
into my ear, dear boy. Now, I was had a lovely chat with Richard Suggett, who runs the Veg Grower podcast, and he assures me now, because people are in lockdown, they're going to need to get out of the house in some form or other. And getting a vegetable patch is going to be a thing to do. And he is going to make more content than he's ever made in his entire life. I've told him to knock out about 8 videos a day, so that will be keeping him busy. And he's going to encourage people to get out and start getting their veg plots going, dig up all of their garden, and use every aspect of the house. If you can get up onto the roof, he's going to show you how you can put bean sprouts on the top of that. And, of course, the window sills, where you balance the children on there so that you've got the rest of the room inside the house to do some other interesting things. Ponatonics. I don't know what that is.
Hydroponics?
Hydroponics.
Hydroponics is
Hydroponics.
Try this one out for size. Michael Angel says your video about the wool trade will be a yarn.
It will. It will be a yarn. Like it. Write that one down. I like that.
Write that one down.
But we'll take the credit for that one.
Philip Hammond says, Julia, my wife asks if you crochet your own woolies. Now, I wish I was that skilled, but no, I don't. This one is vintage from the 70s.
Was that made by your mum?
Made by my great-grandmother.
Oh, your great-grandmother.
Yeah.
Yes. So there we are. It is within the family.
Yep.
And you could...
And I love it.
It is very nice.
And it's rather fortuitous that it's purple, isn't it?
Yeah, did she know...
I would love it no matter what colour it was.
Did she know that you were into purple?
Well, considering it was made at least 10 years before my birth.
So she was psychic
She was,
then.
yeah.
She got the
She
vibe.
had the sight.
She knew that your mum... What relation is she to your mum?
What?
I said, what relation is your... What did you say it was your great-grandmother?
My great-grandmother. Yeah, it was her grandmother.
Oh, yeah, your mum's grandmother.
Yes.
Well, it could have been your on your dad's side, you see.
Yes, but I don't think... Yeah, okay, no, I didn't mention. Okay.
Just saying.
It's confusing me again.
No,
Oh, my God.
I got myself out of a hole there, you see.
Oh,
No, yes, so she was your... But your mum likes purple.
she does.
Because your mum's got purple walls all over the place.
Yeah, my mum likes purple.
And it's like,
She never used to express it as much as she does now because, well...
you've got this shared interest.
I guess
Yeah.
brought it out of her a little bit more. But my paternal grandmother, that's
Here we
my
go.
dad's mum.
Ed Loud, Corona joke.
Oh, wait.
Near the top.
Where?
Third from the top.
Oh, Ed Loud says, I got a Corona joke for you. Bloke down my street is a massive car owner. He owns 5 cars.
Ba-dum-bum. A car owner. Oh. How long did it take you to work that one out, or did you nick it from the internet? Who knows? Old Speckled Hen, says AB. That's a nice beer, isn't it? Old Speckled Hen.
I don't know. I don't like beer.
No,
But apparently so, yes.
I might have to do on one of the shows. I might have to do resurrect.
Resurrect, that's the one.
That's it. Resurrect is something
Well
else
done.
you do with fences, isn't it? I might have to resurrect the old beer show, where I do a bit of beer tasting. Now, I'm not really a drinker, and so alcohol affects me very greatly. And if I drink, I get a bit giggly and sozzly. And it may be that I'll have to resurrect the beer show just for a bit of novelty and fun.
Yeah, you'll have to get Suggett in for that one.
Yeah.
Or Kevin, or
Yeah, anybody else.
anyone who drinks beer.
Well, anybody who doesn't drink, really, because it doesn't work if you have somebody who drinks beer and it makes no effect on them. You want people who bounce off each other, and I just get a little bit silly at the same time. We had a moment on a show with a chap called Jimmy that I used to do shows with, and we did this beer show, and somebody we had in the early days when people didn't use their real names and they used much more of the old, what do you call it, a handle or a pseudonym on their avatars. And so his name was Ferdyquack. It wasn't his real name, obviously. But we were reading these emails that people would send in on this beer show, and one was from this bloke called Ferdyquack. Well, because we were half cut from just trying, half a beer, we were struggling to read this email from this bloke called Ferdyquack. And as soon as you got to the name Ferdyquack, that was it.
You quacked up.
I completely quacked up. And it became a little clip. I'll have to try and find it. It became a laughing clip that I would play in any time I was miserable. You could just listen to me trying to read this, and we just laughed our socks off.
Ramaboo says, I still have a couple crocheted ponchos from childhood too. Cool.
Is that the poncho? Is the thing that
This is a poncho
that Clint Eastwood wore in the
Yes.
Man with No Name films, the
Yes.
spaghetti westerns? Which, interestingly, I've seen all of those, and not once do you see them making a spaghetti dinner. Did you notice that?
I can't actually say I've seen the film.
What, the a few dollars more and a few dollars less, or whatever it's called, the good, the bad, the ugly, the rather terrible beef stroganoff, or the bolognese with no spaghetti, that was a good one. Yeah, they were. What was the first one? A fistful of dollars, that's right, and then a few dollars more, and then I think the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think there was 3 of them. Brilliant set of videos, films.
Steve G says the Friday night beer shows were great.
Ah, Steve G. Yes, of course. You see, he is a long time. Bubbles. He is a very long time.
Bubbles.
Yeah, Bubbles. Very long time. Yeah, the beer show. They were good in the old days. There we go. Look at that. I mean, if John Berger gets them, then Steve G should definitely get them. Linda Kane says... Oh, Linda
Extra
Kane.
bubbles.
She says, I like speckled hen. Fantastic. Is that the one we just mentioned, or did we just mention something else? Oh, yeah, Old Speckled Hen. A Brit beer, says AB. Isn't it odd? Isn't it old? Yes, Old Speckled Hen, that's right. And also the Bishop's Finger. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried the Bishop's Finger, but at the moment I wouldn't, because you've got to wash your hands rather a lot. But if he's washed his hands, you can try the Bishop's Finger. That's quite all right. I think there's one about a monk, but let's not even think about that. The monk's scowl or something.
Ramaboo says, oh, Kevin for that one, the beer show.
Oh, the beer show, yeah. Kevin.
Kevin says, Ramaboo, I have to drive 40 minutes home.
Yeah, we'll put him up on a couch.
Yeah.
In fact, Jeff, could you deliver one of your Davenports? Chuck it round the back so that Kevin doesn't have to stay on the... doesn't have to go home. He can stay on a...
Now you're asking for blood, aren't you?
I am asking for blood. But actually...
He'd blink and give it too, he would. He's such a kind soul.
The thing is, Jeff must drive in a week more than enough to get... If there was a bridge from the UK, from somewhere in America to Worthing, if there was a bridge, like a longer extension of the Chesapeake Bridge... He would.
You're hurting my brain.
He would be able to drive that. He would in a week. I bet he does more than 3,000 miles.
Yeah.
As long as you don't bump into the Titanic en route as you pass Southampton or wherever it was. Where did it sink, the Titanic? On its maiden voyage.
Closer to America than
I didn't get very
Britain.
far, did it? It unexpectedly bumped into
An iceberg.
an iceberg.
Funny you say that.
I mean, it was
It's not funny.
It was a long time ago, wasn't it? I think it was in the glacial period, wasn't it? It was in the last glacial period when the Titanic did that. The unsinkable
Wasn't it 106 years ago, something like that now?
1912. It was.
Yeah, a bit more than that.
I remember it well, actually, because I was only a young boy. I was a stowaway, and they were making a film at the same time. With who's that young bloke who was in? He's older now, and he flies across the world, causing all sorts of climate change problems, and everybody moans at him because he has a private jet and talks about how clean we ought to clean up the planet. I don't know what his name was. Anyway, he was on board making this film, and unfortunately the Titanic sunk, and so they had to change the whole nature of the film to this bloke survive. And actually, he didn't even survive. He died, and yet he does turn up in other films, funnily enough.
We have some responses. The Titanic sank just off of Newfoundland.
Ah, yeah, Newfoundland. It should have sank just off of Newfound Iceberg. That would have been a bit more appropriate, wouldn't it? Oh, there's a Newfound Iceberg. Bonk. Oh, sorry.
Kevin Hall says a local club used to sell a barrel beer called, I don't know what they'd say, the Dog's.
Oh, the Dog's Bollocks.
Yeah, okay, you can say it then. Fine, it's your show.
It's
do
my
what you
show.
want.
Well, we don't normally say the word bollocks, but because it's a brand, if it's the Dog's Bollocks,
You're going to say it as many times as you can.
we can say it as many times as the producer. You what?
He says, I apologise for the language, says Kevin Hall. Yes, so you should.
He's lowered the tone, ladies and gentlemen. He's lowered. You notice who that was who lowered the tone? We don't swear on this show. But he said bollocks. And I don't like it.
Oh, Marriott Genealogy says 1912, 2 of my Hooper cousins were married to 2 surviving crew members. That's amazing.
Wow. Wait, say that again. 2 surviving.
2 of his or her Hooper cousins,
Yeah.
Hooper being a family name, were married to surviving crew members.
That's not only is it a small world, but 2 of his family married 2 of the surviving crew members. I mean, it would be amazing that one of his family managed to do it, but it was almost like get one free.
They were probably in the right place to have met them.
Gosh.
Just, yeah.
That's maybe
Anyway.
Were they in the same lifeboat? Maybe they were getting married on the lifeboat as they were.
I wouldn't think
rowing.
too deeply into it, you know.
No. I'm just saying.
You're just saying. Les Jarvis says, we had 6 speckled hens, but the local fox population killed them all eventually.
Yeah, there must be a beer named after a fox.
Do you know what annoys me? It annoys me when people are selling these, basically they're kind of rabbit hutches with rabbit runs for their chickens.
Run, rabbit, run.
But that's not sufficient. You have to actually dig it down and concrete it in, and, you know, otherwise your chickens are going to get killed.
Yeah, Joe, do take care of your chickens and make sure they're self-isolated so that the Foxanova doesn't get at them. The Corofoxa, what's it called? Coronafoxavitis. I can't think of it.
No, Jeff Kellison says, if I could drive over there, I would build you a proper woodshed.
Oh, please. I need somebody to build me a proper woodshed. You are invited, Jeff. Come on the Friday show.
Barbara Charles says, Chaz and Dave sang a song about, bollocks, and they never apologised.
No, quite right.
And John Berger says, bollocks isn't a swear word in America, so you're safe here, Richard.
Well, there we are. We won't get cut off by the likes of YouTube, so that's marvellous. Shall we go to an Andrew Norris moment?
Yay!
It's now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for blowing your bubbles, because we are going to the Andrew Norris moment, a moment in the show that is the only reason for having the show here. And in today's show, I can tell you that Andrew Norris is going to show us around the old settlement, and it's going to be absolutely fantastically exciting. So let's get on with a little bit of that. Ladies and gentlemen, the Andrew Norris moment.
Hello, Vobesters. I brought you back to the site of the church one more time because there was something very important I forgot to tell you, and that was this church behind me. Is said to be the oldest church of its kind in the continental part of Croatia, and they think it dates from around the 5th century. But I wanted to show you the settlement a bit more. Here's the settlement, and along there is the perimeter wall which I walked along. But over here, the archaeologists unearthed 2 structures, one here and 2 structures here. Now, how did they know to dig here? Well, in this corner was growing a large collection of stinging nettles. Now, nettles like an alkaline soil. So when they dug here, they unearthed a structure, and lime was used to cement the stones together, but they also found a lime kiln. But what was even more astonishing, they found all kinds of things on the site here. Arrowheads, metal arrowheads, pieces of glass, a key. But what they found wedged in the wall was a plum weight and a purse with 9 Roman coins in it. Now, clearly the material had decayed, but the metal frame was still extant, and these coins depicted the last emperor to reign over the western half of the Roman Empire before it collapsed. And some of these coins were so clear it was as if they had just been minted. But what was remarkable is that for the first time we were able to feel a human presence behind any of the objects that we found. So that between then and now, between him and us, we were able to make a connection. Now, I'm just going to leave the settlement here. I wanted to give you a view of the river below. This beautiful river, and in the distance is the pontoon bridge.
Fantastic. And it doesn't just stop there. We have more Andrew Norris for you coming up in the days ahead. And when he gets his neighbour, can't remember his neighbour's name, unpronounceable name, it's a Croatian name. for a
That's
chap.
surprising.
Yeah, it is. It surprised me actually. I thought, what are the chances of that? What are the chances, eh? And he gets his neighbour to show him how a plough used to work. So we'll plough on with that next time. Lots of good stuff. So thank you so much, Andrew. You know it is greatly appreciated, and of course it's the only reason that Robert Croser watches the show, which is fantastic. You know, we need a reason why people watch, and it's those moments.
It's as good as any, I suppose.
Yeah, and of course we're waiting for the Murphy, a moment
Yes,
of Murphy.
He said earlier up in the chat that he's busy creating a new Murphy moment not as we speak, but at the moment. Mariette Genealogy says, can you die quietly, please? No, Mariette doesn't say that. Mariette Genealogy says Arthur John Bright was a quartermaster and Henry Joseph Bailey, master at arms. The two surviving crew members of the Titanic that married into family.
What?
Yeah, you didn't hear a word of that.
Master of arms.
Shall I say that again?
Yeah, I imagine a master. I'm just thinking, what a master of arms is. He an octopus?
Master at arms.
Yes, well, you know, an octopus has lots of arms, doesn't it?
I don't know what a master at arms is, but I know my husband would.
Arms must be to do with the guns, because they always talk about, you know, is it armed? Is your gun armed?
Yeah.
And you go, no, it's got a barrel and bullets in it. It hasn't got arms, obviously.
Yeah, well, that's what you'd assume, but I don't like to assume anything these days, because assumption is the mother of all muck-ups.
Yes. So what were they again? You were going to just let me know exactly.
I was going to say it again for you.
Yeah.
I've lost it now.
Oh,
Where
sorry
are we?
about that. I know people type so quickly.
Mariette Genealogy said Arthur John Bright, quartermaster.
Arthur John Bright.
Yep. And Henry Joseph Bailey, master at arms.
Ah, yes. Bailey's, eh? Nice. Marvellous. Well, I think that's absolutely fantastic. And they were on the crew of the Titanic.
Yes.
Lovely. Thanks very much for that. Andrew Norris says his name is... Oh, Mika. That's right, Mika. Thank you very much,
yes.
Andrew. Yes, can't wait to see Mika again. He wasn't very meek at all, or mild. He knew his stuff, didn't he? What was interesting is there he was dealing with the plough. I take it, you know, you guys haven't seen it yet, and you'll love this. And he is one of the old... He's the same age as Andrew, he says. And... But he's got this grey khaki trousers on and this jumper with no shirt underneath. That's not, I'm not, you know, criticising his fashion or anything, but I don't know, when you first said, oh, he's my neighbour and he's going to show me how to do a plough, I sort of had this old image of a ploughman from, you know, the 1930s. And then he's in up-to-date outfit, ready to take on all bandits. So it was, you know, it was good. Did I just dig myself into a big hole?
Probably I wasn't listening then.
Oh, what do you mean you weren't listening?
No, I was reading these.
Oh.
Linda Kane says, that was great, Andrew. How exciting for the village when it was excavated. And Andrew says, it really is amazing that there is such an important architectural dig in our little village, Linda.
And I like the reference to the stinging nettles. Well, because of the different type of soil that came from the lime, you know. That will explain a lot of things of why I get stinging nettles growing between my ears. Just thought I'd mention that.
That's nice.
Yeah, thanks. Richard says, Philip Hammond, you appear to get one thumbs down most of the time. Yes, I do have somebody, I'm convinced it's one person who doesn't like me very much, on my videos. My videos, of course, are very much, they are... polarizing for people, aren't they? People watch them and they get incredibly angry with my Bald Explorer videos as I walk across the countryside and say, you know, look at this hawthorn bush. It's just coming into flower. And it really upsets people. They you know, they're going, it's not a bloody hawthorn, it's a blackthorn. Don't you know those rooks, they're not crows. And they get very upset. It's amazing how upset you can
coots, not more hens.
Yes, coots, not more hens. My goodness, I mean, it's
the old bald coot.
It is crazy how much we can upset people. And so we do that deliberately because we like to get a couple of those thumbs downs on the show. Because when you look at other people's, the successful YouTubers, they might have got 1 million of the upright ones, but they've got about 50 of those downs, don't they? And I think, that's a good average to have. We need about 50. So we do try to. I play it thick all the time. I'm always going. Look at that.
It thick?
Yeah, I play it thick. I look at a
me.
house there and I say, that must have been built in the 1950s. And then someone will come back and say, no, actually, they were built in the 1920s. And so I deliberately, make out that I don't know stuff. It's so much easier that way.
Ramaboo asked Merriett if they were, the relatives were rowing lifeboats. And Merriett said they were in 2 different lifeboats and they and their passengers were rescued by the Carpathia. Arthur Bright gave testimony at the American Inquiry. All
So
very
when they got
intriguing.
married, one was in one lifeboat and the other, and they did have those old-fashioned megaphones to go, and do you take this man? What? As ahoy! Do you take this man to be... I shouldn't be doing this with
No,
my
you shouldn't.
voice
You should be
and my
taking care of it. Kevin,
This man to be your lawful one. Speak louder. She's deaf. Oh, for God's sake. You. I don't mean you. I mean the other monkey.
Kevin Hall says, it's me.
It's Kevin. It's Kevin. There's some... I'm not really bothered. I mean, as long as they're doing one or t'other, it makes no difference. Hello, somebody's
Michael
tickled.
Angel says, don't worry, Richard, the polar icing is melting.
The polar icing is melting. That's right.
And Ed Lau says, your videos are not polarising for me. We got the fire on, nothing polar about it.
Ah, that's good. Not even the polar bears.
Philip Hammond says, well, we really enjoy your videos.
Thank you very much, Philip Hammond. I do. Yes. No. I mean, when we started to get them, I did think, well, what is it about them that is really, really that upsets people, that they have the effort to go, do you know what? I'm going to be, but yeah, somebody somewhere does. I think I'm one of those toxic people that upsets people. I'm constantly effing and blinding. I have a manner that puts people off. I tend to shout people down and say abusive things.
You're not toxic, you're just very forward.
I can be very forward as well.
Audrey Forms Hamilton says, thumbs down is still good for your algorithms.
Yes, I know. This is what they don't realise. So I don't make too much of a fuss about it because they've actually interacted.
Don't really care, just do them.
Yeah, do that. Actually, whilst we're there now, let's see how many people will do this. Let's see how much power we have over the thing. How many people would just put a thumbs up? Let's see if we can make this work on this show. You don't have to do it every time, but just for now, just for this as a test, go and put a thumbs up on the show and we'll see if we have above average thumbs up for this show. That'd be interesting. See if it actually makes any difference.
It'd be intriguing.
Or if you want to be a complete nutter bastard and throw your bollocks about, because we said bollocks once before, you can do a thumb. If you'd rather do a thumbs down, do a I mean, it's entirely. We don't want to influence you, your mind or anything. We certainly don't want to do that, do we, lovely Julia?
No, we don't.
No.
Merriett Julia.
Oh, sorry. Every time I come out of that, it switches into the intro. I have no idea why that happens.
Merriett says they were married before the Titanic adventure.
Oh, they were married before? Oh, that takes away all the fun.
Super lucky for them to have survived.
Yes, gosh. If you want to donate and keep us in business, then before you go out of business, then the best thing to do is to make a donation to paypal.me/Richard Vobes. Be very handy. And we will guarantee that we'll spend the money on something. And also we'll do some shows, which will be good. Just thought I would, just so you know who you're talking to in tonight's show. Playing with the toys.
Mikey Stevens says, think of your neighbours, Richard, with your shouting.
Oh, yes. Think of that neighbour on that side, they're selling their house and there's nobody in it. This lady is selling her house, but she is in it. And as I think Kevin Hall once said to me when he came over, he said, it's interesting that both sides of you are selling your house. Yes, I said, I wonder what the common denominator of that is. There's some bald bloke in there smoking them out with his Essie. And in the evening, talking very loudly to himself. Just saying.
Ramaboo2 says, for me, it's like getting together with a group of friends, brackets, even though I've never actually met any of you, and having a good laugh.
Yeah, good. I'm glad that that's it. I mean, we have got a community here. And I do wonder, in these times of crisis, I think this is where the community shows its strength and we can all come together. And as I said the other night, you know, I do value you as much as you value you.
Robert Croser says he is abstaining, probably because he likes to be a spanner in the works.
He's abstaining?
From the thumbs up, I presume.
Oh, right, fair enough. Occasionally, it's good to have a spanner in the works, but as long as it's the right size.
Andrew Norris says, I'm with you, Ramaboo. Nice virtual crowd.
Nigel Sadler seems to be keeping a tally of the thumbs ups, so thank you very much on that. That will be good. It'd be interesting just to see on the average if actually, you know, asking people to do a thumbs up really makes any difference, a blind bit of difference. I never know quite, you know, because I mention it in the back of every show that we do. But when people watch the videos, I'm sure by the time I get to, well, thanks very much for watching and don't forget to follow, like, they've already turned off. Because I'm like that with other people's videos. You know the spiel, and if you've already subscribed and, you know, you know you're going to give them a thumbs up or not.
Trot.
Yeah, you might as well just, you know, bog off.
Linda Kane says, Richard, any sign of an on-show phone?
Oh, yes, an on-show phone. No, I do need to purchase a phone. If anyone's got an old smartphone that they don't use or would like to buy me a new phone, then I can use the old one, you see what I mean? Yeah, I need to get hold of a phone. There must be that shop that we took your phone into, actually. They got a lot of cheap second-hand phones. That's probably the best place for me to go. For about 50 quid or something, could probably get a reasonable smartphone and then buy a SIM card. Yes. Do you think people would like to ring in, Linda? Would you ring in, Linda? That's the big question.
I hope so.
I'd love to get Linda Kane on the show.
Yes, she's quite camera shy. I don't think she would.
Because we
would love to have you on the show.
We could turn it into Mastermind, couldn't we? Get Linda Kane in one of these chairs, you know, the swivelly chair. And
the
then
weakest link.
They'd get the lights down like that and go, bum, 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 ba-dum. Bum, ba, ba, bum, bum. Bum ba ba bum bum ba ba bum ba ba bum bum ba, and then we can just ask Linda, you know, what her specialist. What would be your specialist subject, Linda?
Nigel
Sussex, probably, because she won't be druv.
Yeah. Nigel Sadler says, buy your neighbour's house from your dad's house funds and knock through. Yeah, we thought about that.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, the irony is, here's the irony. I live in a 2 up, 2 down house. My neighbours are 2 up, this terrace, 2 up, 2 down houses. My dad's house is in Goring, which is a nice part of town, and it's actually on the market for less than what my neighbours are putting their house up for.
Sore point, that, isn't it? Ramaboo says...
And we haven't sold it after a bloody year.
Too bad you can't afford to buy them both. Make one side your studio, the other your library.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking sense.
John Berger says, wow, someone in the crowd gave it a thumbs down. Naughty! Mike Dixon says, I follow a 20-year-old drummer from Germany on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I bet you do.
Her films have been viewed...
Oh, her films, yeah. We know what kind of...
Have been viewed by 345 million people.
Yeah.
That's redonkulous.
How does she do the drumming? This 35-year-old.
You didn't... 20-year-old.
Oh, 20. Yeah. We know all about these drummers.
Audrey Forbes Hamilton says only 10% of people thumbs up, on average.
Up thumbs.
Put a thumbs up, there you go.
Yeah. How many did she say? 10%?
Only 10% of them.
Oh, that's, well, you know, it all helps. I mean, I don't really know what it does do, to be honest with you. I mean, it says it helps the algorithm, but who knows what the algorithm really does? But I can tell you, the one good news I can tell you, well, not one good news, I can tell you loads of good news, but the good news from the Bold Explorer website is it is increasingly, rapidly, fast approaching the 10,000 mark. We're about we only recently got to 9,000, and I think we're about to 9,300 and something. Can't remember exactly. And at this rate, by the end of the month, if we carry on like this, how long have we got? Well, maybe into April. We could reach the 10,000, and I'm absolutely fascinated now to see how that grows, because they did say getting to your first 10,000 is the hard bit. Then you increase exponentially much quicker, which is fantastic. But of course, it's sod's law if we're all locked down and not allowed to go out and make the videos. So I've got to go out and make them. And try and persuade people as much as one can to donate a bit, to become a patron.
David Keel says, I'm watching on TV. The thumbs up is a bit hidden, but I will try harder in the future. It's a great show.
Oh, thank you, David. That's very kind of you.
Mikey Stevens says, why don't you move into your dad's home and redo it? Does it have more space?
Well, yes, no, it has more space. Does and it's got a big garden. Oh, it's sort of got more space. But unfortunately, my dad left it to my sister as well as to me.
Yeah.
And she wants
half of it.
She still wants her half. I said to her she could have the front garden. But, no, she wants her half. So I can understand that. So the best thing and the easiest thing all round is to sell it. If it was all mine, I would actually keep it and turn it into a studio. I would have multifaceted rooms. I would have Julia's corner, which would be great. That would be where the kettle would be.
Michael Angel says Goring is where the police go to recoup. That's probably why the houses are cheaper.
Oh, they go to recoup.
Yeah.
So like chickens. Anyway.
Cheryl Craig says iPad battery is going. Time for me to go. Night, people.
Night,
Cheryl.
Cheryl. Well, it's just gone 9 o'clock here, so it's time for us to go, really. But we will be doing I'll be doing shows, and Julia's obviously invited to come along whenever she can or wants to escape from family duties or whenever she's whatever.
So long as we're not on lockdown,
yes,
total lockdown
and all of that. But yes, whilst we're in this situation, want to try and keep the videos going, want to keep the community spirit going, and I just see my role very much as to keep you guys all together and happy and jolly. So it's a great way of keeping people having some social interaction, and you can still be in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't listening. But
No.
Andy Stacey says,
why is it that you don't listen when I'm saying something nice and profound?
because I'm trying to keep up with the chat,
Oh,
so
yes,
that I
that's
can
true.
hopefully make sense of it.
Oh,
and
yes.
you go, oh, what does that mean?
Yes, that's true. No, that is exactly the purpose that you should be doing. You don't want to listen to my old nonsense.
Well, I do like to listen to your old nonsense. There was something I was going to read.
Oh, sorry,
Andy
I put you
Stacey,
off now. Hang
that's
on,
all
let
right.
me- I can
No,
revolve
stop.
back. No,
Stop.
oh.
Whoa. Andy Stacey says,
Yes.
I thumbs up all your videos because that's how I know which ones I've seen. I do the same.
Oh, what a good idea! There we go. That's what we should promote that more frequently. Thumbs up all the videos you've seen, and you know what you've seen. What are you saying when he says, Are you saying that they're all so similar that you could not tell one apart
you've got
from
so
another?
many.
Oh, I see. Yes, of course. Yes, you got out of that one, all right.
Francesco Bellringer says, I've rung at Goring.
You've rung at Goring. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's very nice. I used to ring my dad when he was in Goring.
Jeff Kellison says, you need to rescue bats at Vobes. It seems to be popular.
Rescue bats. Yes, that should have been something that we did, but a lady in Australia beat us to it.
Yes. I'm sure there's plenty of bats here in this country.
Bat rescue!
Holy moly.
Holy moly.
Holy moly.
Holy moly.
We've got lots of people saying goodbye and take care and all that.
Oh, that means we've got to go. All right then.
Total lockdown is Thursday night, apparently.
Total lockdown, what? Thursday night?
According to Michael Angel.
Oh, yes. There is a rumour, and it's not true, by the way, that a bill will be passed that there will be total lockdown and there will be the army on the streets. Really?
Don't think we've got enough.
I cannot see that happening, and
Forces for that.
I think it is a complete and utter rumour, and I don't think Boris Johnson is brave enough to do that, and he would be a fool to do so.
I'm pretty sure that all our armed forces are at the lowest level they've been for a long time right now.
And the half of them are probably posted overseas anyway.
Probably.
And, you know, getting a stamp on them to get them back home is very difficult.
A couple of other people are saying that they do the same thing and use the same system.
Marvellous.
As
I'm very
they're
pleased.
liking-
Thank you so much. Well, thank you very much for watching the show, and thank you for liking the show. And we're going to end the show with more bubbles. Don't forget, if you want to send us a video, then that would be fantastic. It would be great to see where are you? It'd be great to see the bubble machines.
I love bubbles.
Got broken there. Yeah, do come back hopefully tomorrow night. I'm going to be out filming with not Andrew Norris. I'm going to be out filming with Matthew Holdsworth tomorrow on the Green Sand Way. This may be the last time I get a chance to see Matthew Holdsworth, because we may be in lockdown for the next 25 years whilst the Extinction Rebellion come up with another plan to stop the trains from flying and the planes from running on the tracks. Yeah, I did say that.
What were you on about?
I don't know.
Okay.
So we're going to say arrivederci. Thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourself. Look after yourselves, and we'll be back again. I'll be back again anyway tomorrow. Until then, thank you, Julia, for coming in
Thank you very much for having me on again.
and blowing all them bubbles.
Yay.
And until next time, tutty bye. Bye bye.
Night, everybody. Take care. Look after yourself. Stay healthy.
Bye bye. Goodbye.